Good morning, welcome to another day in photography land, and we're by the hut, my favourite location. Today the weather's better, we're really happy because we've got a little bit, a sprinkling of snow on the top of the mountains. It's much colder today, the temperature has dropped, which is brilliant, and sunrise is going to be as ever through the Glen Coe Valley, so I'm going to go and shoot some pictures. I really love this as a location. It's one of my favourite, and I was just saying to Gary, that, who's with me today, saying that last time we were here we had a trip, and the very last shot I did of this hut is my favourite from that last trip. It's just a wonderful location, and there's no one around. It's very, very quiet, which I'm really surprised about, but happy about. It's going to be great. So we'll see what we can get. I'm going to get a few more different shots today, because normally I just shoot the one, but I'm going to see if I can get a few more compositions, which will be nice. I'm going to be testing out the Olympus. This is my bread and butter. This is what I like to do, as well as the other stuff. So I want to use the Olympus for landscapes and really give it a test. How do I get on with it? What's it going to be like? And eventually we'll print some pictures. But so far so good with it. I liked the system yesterday. It was absolutely hammering down, and it was drenched, but obviously just didn't miss a beat. And the pictures I looked at last night look really good, but I haven't properly edited them. Even though I've got my laptop, I just like to back up all my stuff onto the hard drives, but when I get home we'll do some processing. But so far this is looking pretty promising. Right, let's get the wellies on, and I'll see you down there. So here we go. I'm going to go to the right of the hut this time, because the shot's going to be looking down the River Cupel. I think I've seen kind of this shot before. I haven't looked at too much, to be honest. Last time I shot it square on, and I really like the shot, so as I've said earlier, but might do that again, but definitely want to get a few more compositions today. So I've come along into this. Well, I could have taken the path, but I kind of thought to myself, if I don't take the path, I might come across something that no one else has discovered. I'm sure I won't. There's been photographers all over this place every day for forever, so I'd be very surprised. But that was my idea, and it's a bit of a shortcut. And I've got wellies on, so there's no problem at all. Temperature's 5 degrees. It's possibly a bit hot, really, but it's supposed to be really cold tonight, and we're hoping for a bit of snow. So the hut looks great, and what's great about it is because it's this lovely Scottish whitewash, I guess you'd call it. It reflects any colour, any light in the sky, which you can obviously just help with Lightroom if you need to. And it just looks magnificent against the dark, brooding mountains behind, underneath the foot of the buckle. So wonderful, wonderful place to be. Right, let me get set up. You can see some compositions now, so let me set up and I'll talk you through what we're doing. Right, well, this is roughly where I want to be. What I'm going to do is wade out a little bit into this water. There's a little gravel bank over there, so I'm going to use my foreground. There's a lump here of, I don't know, peat or something, or a big mound of earth, which it will be tempting to use as foreground, apart from the fact that it looks rubbish. I don't really like it. So just because there's a foreground there doesn't mean you should have to use it. But the stone's there, and the colours, there's going to be some bluey kind of water, this lovely dark cobalt blue colour that you get around here is going to look wonderful. And what we need is, when sunrise happens, which is going to be very shortly, the light is going to flood through that valley. So it can be very fleeting, the light here, because there's so many clouds around. So I'm going to be in position now, and I'm just going to wait and see how this works. Really pleased there's some snow on the mountains over by Rannoch Moor. It looks great, so I think this is going to work really well. Cottage on the right hand bottom third, and then the slope of the buckle the Glen Coe mountain range, looking back down there, probably something on the Olympus around sort of 10mm, which is about 20mm on full frame. Right, let's get in position. Here we go. Right, so we're in the River Coople. I've got the shot framed up. It seems very square to me. I might change the aspect ratio to get more in on the sides, because I do tend to see things narrower. But actually, quite a straightforward shot. Cottage on the bottom right. I'm focusing up manually, so I've got it on autofocus. But obviously what you've got with this, as soon as you turn the focusing dial, you can see there, hopefully, that focuses up, and we're using pixel peeping just to make sure that the cottage itself is absolutely sharp. 5.6, it's about f8, I think, on a normal camera, f11, somewhere around there, at a fifth of a second. But on a tripod, not a problem. 200 ISO, which is the recommended ISO for this. And then it's just a question of waiting for the light, such as it is, keeping your eye out and seeing what happens. There's already some darker clouds hanging down in the valley, which I'll just darken down a touch to give it a bit more atmosphere, using these rocks, as I said before, as the foreground. What a wonderful, wonderful shot this is. Really easy, but I love it. I really do love it. It's great. Right, let's take the shot. Here it comes. So this is the result, and this is a high-res Olympus image, and really pleased with it. The interesting thing about using this aspect ratio is that you can change it on the camera and you still get the raw file, which means you can go back and recrop it, which you can't do in the Nikon. This is another shot from further on down the river with a lovely mirror image on it. I really love this, been after this for a while, and Gary spotted this straight away. So cheers to Gary for that. So yes, we've done it. I've done it. I'm at the buckle. Again, the famous shot, which the world and these dog have done. I'm getting a little bit fed up with it, but to be honest, I don't quite feel like I've done it justice before, and I feel like I have today, funnily enough. I've just shot this on a 1-to-1 square crop, got bang in the middle, and I've got a nice leading line from the waterfall into the buckle. I put an ND, or I haven't put an ND grad, I've turned the ND grad facility on the OM1 Mark II, so no grad needed. Getting about a second, 2 seconds, I think, on this without need to put a filter on. Now, just to be clear, this was shot with live ND to give me a 2-second exposure, and this is handheld, which I think is quite incredible. The stabilization on these cameras is amazing. What's not so great is the dynamic range, and I know there are ways around that, but if we look at the sky to the left of the buckle at the top there, that bit of cloud is overexposed, and this is with the highlights and the whites pushed down as far as they will go. There is no more detail in the raw file to this. It would have been great to be able to use live ND grad as well as live ND, but I appreciate you can only use one of those in the system. The other option is to put a grad over the front of the camera lens. That would work, or indeed turn on live ND grad and put a neutral density filter on the front, or bracket it as well. However, none of those things I would need to do in the Nikon system, the Z7 II, and that's probably down to the dynamic range. So from there we moved on to Torrenlochen. And next we moved to the lovely Torrenlochen, which I have been to before several times, and it's just a beautiful hidden gem out of the way of anywhere else, and you can just stand and get lost, and the peacefulness is beautiful. And what I'm going to do is get the drone out and have a little buzz about what this looks like from above. And I hope you agree, it looks pretty fantastic from up above. Love those mountains in the background. So after shooting this pan with the drone and then another pan from the ground, we moved on to one of my favourite locations, Glen Coe. However, on the way there we bumped into somebody quite famous. If you don't know who this is, this guy is called Gary Goff, the guy in the orange jacket. He was very appreciative of my orange trousers. I love this location. It's so great, so vicious. The water is just pouring down a bit. Absolutely amazing. Some nice mountains behind. What we need though on the mountains is a bit more snow. And snow is what we promised tomorrow. I'm hoping that we might get even better conditions on this brilliant Scotland road trip, which I hope you'll enjoy. Look at the light over there. I've already taken a drone shot, which I'll put up here for you to have a look at. But look at that! Look at that! I'm going wide angle. I'm just picking out these lines in the sand here, which I quite like. And there's a stone or a rock in the little bit of water because the tide's up, so that looks really, really good. There's a boat in the harbour or on the water, which I bet Steve is photographing, but the light coming through that valley is amazing. You could almost use a telephoto here. In fact, you could do so. I might click on the 40-150 and shoot it as well. The drones looked brilliant. I've had the telephoto on the drone as well, looking down that valley, so amazing. So just looking at some foreground, picking bits out. Nothing spectacular here, but some things, if you look hard enough, that really work in an image, including these little lines in the sand. So here's the drone image. After that, I'll put up the shot with the sand. Let's see if we can find something else. Come on. Like that, the light's gone. I think we had some absolutely magnificent light on the mountains behind us. I was using the 40-150, which is 80-300, and it was a bit too long, so I ended up doing a panoramic of it, which I'll put on the screen for you, which I really, really liked, I think. Then I switched to the 12-40 and shot a bigger kind of a straightforward shot, which I also think was nice. And then the lights started to fade, and the light behind us in the distance there, where it was absolutely vibrant earlier on, it's just died. But there might be, what is the time we've got here? Sunrise was 5 minutes ago, and there might be a little kick under these clouds if you hang about. So I've got the kind of traditional composition down here, this big boulder on the right hand side of the frame. It feels a little bit unbalanced. Yeah, I'm happier with that. I think the balance is slightly better. I might just move the camera maybe a smidgen to the left here, just to get that rock underneath these peaks, just a fraction. I think it works though. It feels kind of symmetrical almost, which sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. It probably doesn't with a big boulder in the way, but I've got lots of moss or lots of seaweed and rocks in front of it, so just by tipping the camera down a little bit, we kind of put more focus onto that, and then it becomes more of a leading line really, as long as I don't lose the top of that. Well, I'm kind of losing the side of the mountain anyway, so they're just sloping down into the main subject, which is the sunset in the background. And we've got also, just to help balance it a little bit, I don't know if you can see it, there's a little orange trawler just in the sea there, which at this distance is probably, let's get that back on for you, it's probably going to be okay. So that's kind of it. Let's shoot that in a second. So we're still on, you can see, a 15th of a second, which is absolutely no problem whatsoever. 2 second timer. There's the final picture. I've just got to make sure that the sky is okay and it looks good, but there's very little colour on that screen, but there is definitely colour in the sky because I can see it. So hopefully that's going to look good. I think it's okay actually, quite happy with that. Maybe just going to tilt it up a fraction to lose some of that dead space. There we go, something that's better. I think that's better there. yeah, really happy with that. Looks great. The lights, I think that's it, the light's dying. So I'm gonna go now and rejoin the guys. We're gonna go have some dinner. What a day this has been. So much better than yesterday. But yesterday was fun in its own way. I mean, the woodlands I did yesterday I'm really pleased with. Today the light has been great. We've had a little bit of sprinkling of snow. We've had some clouds. It's been really, really nice. Tomorrow proves to be even better. So I'll put tomorrow's efforts on next week's vlog. So come and join us for that. It's going to be great. If you haven't subscribed, think about doing so. And until next Sunday at 6 o'clock, thanks ever so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed today as much as I have. So take care. See you next week. Ta-da. Epic snow. Really, really enjoyed this. It's been lovely.